Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most mysterious creatures in all of folklore, a beast whose very name sends shivers down the spines of sailors and landlubbers alike. Imagine, if you will, the vast, inky blackness of the deep ocean, a realm where light cannot penetrate, where pressures are immense, and where colossal, primordial forces still hold sway. For centuries, this terrifying abyss has been the breeding ground for our deepest fears. Whispers of things lurking far below the waves, creatures so immense, so powerful, that they could drag entire ships, men and all, into the crushing darkness. From the frigid waters of the North Atlantic to the storm-tossed fjords of Scandinavia, mariners told tales of a nightmare made flesh, or rather, made tentacles and eyes the size of dinner plates. They spoke of an island that would suddenly submerge, of a vast, unmoving mass in the water that was not land, but flesh. They described enormous eyes peering from the depths, and colossal arms wrapping around hulls, squeezing until timbers groaned and snapped, sending the vessel and its crew to a watery grave. This wasn't just a sea monster. This was an ecological catastrophe waiting to happen, a living, breathing natural disaster that hunted ships. But what if I told you that this creature, this legendary terror known as the Kraken, might not be merely a figment of terrified imaginations and ancient superstitions? What if the terrifying sagas and the desperate prayers of sailors weren't just folklore, but an echo of a very real, very powerful inhabitant of our planet's last true frontier? For a long time, the Kraken was firmly relegated to the pages of mythology, a fantastical beast alongside griffins and dragons. But as our understanding of the ocean has deepened, and as science has peered into the abyss, a remarkable truth has begun to surface. Could the most infamous sea monster of all time actually be real? Could something truly monstrous have inspired these chilling tales? Today, we peel back the layers of myth and mystery to explore the true story of the Kraken. Ancient texts describe a creature of unimaginable scale, a leviathan that was as much a part of the landscape as it was a living animal. One of the earliest and most vivid accounts comes from the Norse saga of Urvaradr, written in the 13th century. It speaks of the Hafgufa, a colossal sea beast that was often mistaken for an island. Sailors would land on its back, build fires, and only realize their grave error when the island began to sink beneath them. This description of a gargantuan, camouflaged creature, immense enough to appear as land, is a recurring theme in Kraken lore. Even more detailed accounts emerged in the 18th century, particularly from Erik Pontoppidan, a Danish bishop and naturalist. In his comprehensive work, The Natural History of Norway, published in 1752, Pontoppidan meticulously described the Kraken not as a myth, but as a real animal of the deep. He reported on fishermen's tales, asserting that the Kraken was an enormous creature, round, flat, and full of arms, so vast that its body could stretch for a mile and a half. He claimed it lived at the bottom of the sea, where it fed on nutrients, and when it rose to the surface, its immense bulk created dangerous whirlpools that could suck down ships. Pontoppidan even suggested that the creature was responsible for replenishing the sea's fish stocks, as its droppings would attract massive schools of fish, making it a paradoxically revered and feared entity among coastal communities. These aren't just isolated anecdotes. The fear of the deep and the belief in colossal sea creatures was pervasive across maritime cultures. Scandinavian folklore is particularly rich with tales of immense squids or octopuses, often called kraken or similar names, that would rise from the depths to terrorize ships. These stories served as powerful cautionary tales, a stark reminder of humanity's fragility against the raw power of the ocean. The very word, kraken itself, is thought to be derived from a Norwegian word meaning an unhealthy animal, or something that is twisted, perfectly encapsulating the grotesque and terrifying nature attributed to this creature. For centuries, these accounts were dismissed as the exaggerated ramblings of superstitious sailors, fuel for fantastical literature, but hardly a subject for serious scientific inquiry. Yet the sheer consistency of these tales, the vivid descriptions of something truly immense, began to hint at a deeper truth. Could these ancient mariners, despite their lack of scientific instruments, have actually been glimpsing something extraordinary, something truly monstrous that shared their world? For centuries, the Kraken remained firmly in the realm of myth, a terrifying but ultimately unprovable monster. Then, in the mid-19th century, a series of astonishing events began to shake the foundations of zoological understanding. In 1853, a colossal squid carcass washed ashore in Denmark. This wasn't just a large squid, it was something truly immense, measuring an astonishing length. Then, in 1857, a Danish naturalist named Japeta Steenstrup examined another such specimen and, crucially, gave it a scientific name, Archaeoteuthis dux, the giant squid. This was the turning point. The very existence of a creature that could genuinely inspire tales of the Kraken was now scientifically proven. Scientists believe that Archaeoteuthis dux can grow to incredible lengths, with estimates of up to 13 meters, 43 feet, for females, including its two long feeding tentacles. Well, not quite a mile and a half. A 43-foot-long, intelligent invertebrate with suckers lined with sharp, toothed rings, emerging from the depths, would certainly be a terrifying sight for any sailor in a wooden ship. The evidence suggests that these creatures are formidable predators, dwelling in the deep ocean, often at depths between 300 and 1,000 meters. Their primary predators are sperm whales, and the battles between these two giants are legendary. Whale carcasses often bear circular sucker marks, some surprisingly large, providing tangible evidence of the massive cephalopods they fought. But the story doesn't end with the giant squid. As our exploration of the deep ocean has advanced, another, even more massive, and arguably more terrifying, creature has been discovered. The colossal squid, Messinichotuthis hamiltoni. This beast, first identified from partial remains in 1925, is now considered the largest invertebrate on Earth by mass, potentially weighing up to 750 kg, 1,650 pounds, and reaching lengths similar to the giant squid, though with a much heavier, more robust body. Crucially, the colossal squid's tentacles are armed not just with suckers, but with sharp swiveling hooks, making it an even more formidable opponent. Living in the freezing, abyssal waters of the Southern Ocean, the colossal squid is an even more elusive and mysterious creature, its full behavior and maximum size still largely unknown. Could it be that the Kraken legend was inspired not just by one, but by multiple species of truly gigantic cephalopods, each contributing to the terrifying myth? Science has definitively proven that creatures of extraordinary size and power live in our oceans, creatures that could easily have been the original Kraken. Despite the scientific validation of giant and colossal squid, the legendary Kraken often described something even larger, something truly capable of dragging down massive sailing vessels. So, do modern sightings still hint at something beyond even Archaeotuthis or Messinichotuthis? The answer is complicated. There are certainly alleged modern encounters with colossal cephalopods. One famous incident occurred in 1960, when the tanker Brunswick was reportedly attacked by a giant squid off the coast of Norway. The crew described a creature so large that its tentacles wrapped around the ship, leaving indelible sucker marks on the hull before it eventually disengaged. While this story has been widely circulated, solid, irrefutable photographic or scientific evidence remains elusive, often leaving such accounts in the realm of anecdotal evidence. Other reports come from deep-sea submersibles or remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, that have captured fleeting glimpses or strange anomalies. Occasionally, blurred images or sonar readings suggest massive, unidentified objects moving in the deep. For instance, in 2011, a video surfaced of what appeared to be an extremely large, unidentifiable squid-like creature filmed off the coast of Japan. While fascinating, such footage is often brief, lacks clear scale, and can be subject to misinterpretation or even hoaxes. The sheer darkness and immense pressure of the deep make definitive identification incredibly challenging. However, we must also acknowledge the critical perspective. Many alleged Kraken sightings could simply be misidentifications of known large marine life, like whales, or even large schools of fish, creating a confusing optical illusion. In some cases, decomposing whale carcasses, with their grotesque and enormous forms, have been mistaken for unknown sea monsters. The ocean is full of wonders, and our imaginations often fill in the blanks where visibility is poor. Yet the persistence of these stories, combined with the fact that we've only truly begun to explore the deep ocean in the last few decades, keeps the question alive. Could there be even larger, undiscovered species of cephalopods lurking in the abyssal plains, creatures that match the terrifying scale of the most exaggerated Kraken tales? A vast majority of our oceans remain unexplored, an estimated 80% or more, leaving plenty of room for undiscovered giants. So, after centuries of myth, decades of scientific discovery, and ongoing tantalizing glimpses, what is the verdict on the Kraken? Was it real, extinct, or pure myth? The answer, like the creature itself, is multifaceted, but leans heavily towards a powerful truth behind the legend. The legend of the Kraken, in its most fantastical sense, a mile-long monster sinking ships with ease, is likely an exaggeration, a powerful narrative born from fear and the unknown. No known creature, even the colossal squid, could genuinely be mistaken for an island that submerges or single-handedly create whirlpools capable of devouring a fleet. However, the inspiration for the Kraken, that is undeniably real. Science has, without a shadow of a doubt, proven the existence of marine creatures that perfectly fit the general description of a deep-sea monster. The giant squid, Archaeotuthis dux, and the colossal squid, Messinichotuthis hamiltoni. These are not myths. They are apex predators of the deep, creatures of truly awe-inspiring size and power that could, and very likely did, terrify ancient mariners. The evidence suggests that the ancient tales of the Kraken were a fascinating, if embellished, record of encounters with these magnificent and terrifying cephalopods. The sucker marks on sperm whales, the occasional beach strandings, and the sheer rarity of seeing such creatures led to their elevation into monstrous, supernatural beings. Fear and wonder inspired by their sheer scale were translated into tales of ships being dragged to the abyss. What do you think, myth or reality? While the specific exaggerated feats attributed to the mythical Kraken might remain in the realm of fantasy, the core truth that inspired them. The existence of truly colossal, tentacled beasts in the deep ocean has been firmly established by science. The kraken, in essence, was a real creature, or rather, a composite of real creatures, given an extra dose of terror by human imagination. And who knows what other leviathans still lurk in the unexplored depths, waiting to be discovered, ready to rewrite our understanding of the ocean's most incredible inhabitants. The ocean still holds its secrets, and the spirit of the kraken, the fear of the unknown deep, continues to fascinate and humble us. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my YouTube channel for more interesting videos.